Hello, and good morning, people, and welcome to the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. Thank you for tuning in with us this morning as we conversate about the latest sports topics that has taken place from this past week and will be upcoming this week. It is always a blast to have you all tune in with us and participate every weekend. As a reminder that every week we always like to begin our podcast by reminding our audience that the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast can be found on Facebook via the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast page, on Spotify as the Early Morning Sports Talk Podcast, YouTube as the Early Morning Sports Talk Podcast, on Apple Podcasts, or any various places where you can find your podcast as the Early Morning Sports Talk Podcast, as well as on our own Facebook pages via Brandon Price, Jamar Goodman, and Peoples Hernandez. Today is May 28th of 2022. We have yet again seen another fascinating week in the sports world, where we saw the Golden State Warriors clinch a finals berth for the sixth time in 8 years. We basically saw this team rise from the ashes, 15 wins 2 seasons ago, a loss in the play-in game last year. A lot of people out there were wondering if this team would ever make it back and if that dynasty was over. But it looks like, guys, there has been a rebirth, and the Warriors are heading to the finals for the sixth time in 8 years. The Miami Heat, they manage what a lot of people consider as bad health. And they are managing it as much as possible because they are forced a game seven that will take place tomorrow to eventually decide who will play the Golden State Warriors in the Chase Center starting this upcoming Thursday in the NBA Finals. The LA Lakers now hire former Bucks assistant Darvin Ham as the new head coach, as well as Colin Kaepernick having what many NFL scouts considered as a positive workout for the Las Vegas Raiders. And so we will see if the Raiders sign him, or if there are some other team out there, such as the Panthers, etc., that can use his services. And so with that being said, introducing my brother from another mother, Mr. Jamar Goodman. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Doing pretty well. How's everybody this morning?
Good, man. Good. Yes. Thank you for asking, my brother. And introducing my other partner here on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, and my other brother from another mother, Mr. Ian Jones. Appreciate your time and thank you for chopping it up with us. What's good with you, my brother?
Same old. Blessed to be here, man. How you guys feel?
Good.
Good, bro. Good. A little bit sleepy, but we're making it happen, right?
Sure.
Yes, sir. And so with that being said, let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. On our first and foremost, Cap's workout viewed as positive by NFL scouts. And so before we get into the NBA playoffs, fellas, can Cap, in your opinion, still help and contribute to a team's success? And so, Jamar, I will, you know how we do it here on the podcast. And so you'll go first, and you'll chime in, and then I'll chime in next. And so, Jamar, can Colin Kaepernick, man, in your opinion, still help and contribute to a team in the NFL?
I mean, that remains to be seen, right? I mean, he hasn't played since 2016, 5 years ago, about to be entering the 6th year since he hasn't really played. All in all, I mean, however way we slice it, I just know one thing: it's a bad look for the NFL all the way around.
Yep.
So it's like just now, you're comfortable with him bringing him in for a tryout, like for a workout. You're just now comfortable. You couldn't do it 5 years ago when all the heat was happening. And what if he can, it's reviewed as good. Like, what if he does get signed? It's just like, oh, okay, you just wasted 5 years of this man's career, right? So, I mean, we just look at the teams, the 32 teams in the NFL right now. A lot of quarterbacks are set in stone, but it's like we're still debating if a certain quarterback's going to be franchise guys. Daniel Jones, that's up in the air. The writing's already on the wall for Baker Mayfield, right? Like that's shot. Sam Darnold, that whole situation in Carolina. Atlanta, like Marcus Mariota, he just left the Raiders to go there. So it's definitely, opportunity out there. I mean, I cannot definitively say that those guys are better than Kaepernick, but on the flip side, I cannot definitively say that Kaepernick's better than those guys right now. I don't know. But what I do know, one thing is for a fact, I'd rather have Colin Kaepernick on my team instead of Nathan Peterman. So I'm just going there.
The
We
shade.
all know about Nathan Peterman, man. Nathan
The
Peterman
shade.
he gave me a great memory in that first half. I'm gonna leave it at
The shade.
that.
It's warranted.
It's one of the best halves of football I've ever seen.
Whew.
And so we'll leave it at that, man. So, Ian, what's up, bro? Like, how do you feel about this scenario with Cap? And can he help a team, or how does this look for the NFL if he were to be signed?
Colin Kaepernick, I think he can help a team as far as being in a backup role and maybe, as a gimmick or, give him a package here or two. It's obvious he's better than a couple starters or just as good as a couple starters. But, as Jamar stated, he hasn't played football in 5 to 6 years. So that will be a really rough transition on coming back. That's a long
Imagine
time.
that first hit, right? Imagine that first hit for the folk man if he would have come back.
Yeah, that's tough to do and to take 5 to 6 years off from anything: basketball, baseball, football, even your own job you do every day. That's tough. So it'll be tough, but I think he could. He stayed in shape and everything. So I think he could contribute. As a backup. Do I think he would be like a starter? Maybe for a couple teams, but not any contenders or anything like that. But it will look bad, for the NFL. Like you say, like you guys said, basically wasted 5 to 6 years of this guy's career and his life, and now it's cool to sign him. So that would just basically mean they just looked at this as a punishment in a sense, knowing that he really wanted to come back and play.
Right.
That wouldn't be a good look. But I do think Oakland will probably sign him. Will he make it to the final 53? That would be yet to be determined, but I think they'll sign him though.
Wait, let me ask y'all this. Just quick. We're just gonna throw out. I'm gonna just throw out quick names, and you let me know if you would rather have Cap as your starter or not. So start with Drew Lock. Would you rather have Kaepernick starting or Drew Lock in Seattle?
Damn it, I would rather have. Man, it's a tough one because Drew Lock sucks. But Colin Kaepernick haven't played in 5 years. I would not mind having Kaepernick in a package with Drew Lock starting, just because he's been a beneficiary of, I would say, white privilege in the NFL. All those guys got to do for the most part is not do anything out of line according to their standards, right, Jamar? And they keep a job. A lot of these backup quarterbacks are sorry. They are sorry in the NFL. They are sorry. But they somehow keep their jobs because they know how to play the politics. They know how to do the right things and say the right things. But I will put them in a package, Jamar. I wouldn't necessarily start them. But boy, I tell you, it would be like a Justin Fields scenario. If I see Kaepernick doing some good stuff, Jamar, at the beginning of the season, guess what? Week 6 or against like a certain opponent, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to bring Kaepernick in.
What do you think, Ian?
That's a tough one. I don't necessarily think Drew Lock sucks, but I don't think he's that good either. But I don't think he sucks. I'll start Drew Lock. 5 or 6 years, that's a long time.
All right. I'll do 2 more just so we can keep it going. Davis Mills or Colin Kaepernick?
I see what Jamar is doing here because Davis Mills sucked too. I'm telling you,
according
man.
to the Texans.
I know this kid, he was a rookie last year, but boy, he had some games out there. And y'all remember this, Jamar, me on a podcast saying, like, how in the hell is he a starter? Like, Houston they literally are just down in their luck. I would start, oh boy. I damn near would probably start Kaepernick over him because he is terrible. I, you know what? I guess for reasonable purposes, I'll do the same thing. But Lord knows, like Davis Mills is a terrible quarterback, man. I will have a competition between them two and just evaluate. And I have to start Davis Mills, but Kaepernick could kind of be right there, Jamar.
Okay. What you think, Ian?
Start Cap.
All right. And then last one I'll do.
Sam Darnold.
By all means.
I do this.
Nathan Peterman?
No, this is Sam Darnold, since he's the quote unquote starter in Carolina right now. Sam Darnold or Cap?
I would go with Sam. But you know, I don't know if you guys know, a lot of people view Cap as a potential fit in Carolina. And so that's interesting. But I would have to start him just because, guys, he's been there. He's, you know, a lot of people might say, okay, this was his first year in Carolina. He got some experience under his belt, etc. And so we put him out there. But boy, it'd be an evaluation, Jamar. It'd be a competition too, if possible.
Gotcha. You taking Darnold or you taking Cap? He's taking his hit.
Taking Cap. Taking Cap all the way.
I don't know about that.
No Cap. No Cap on Cap. All right.
Now I know that Cap is, well, I know Donald's bad at times. He's had some really bad games, but you know, just for the moment. And I make sure it be close. Okay, I make sure I keep him close because I know the explosiveness that Cap has. But I also know the inaccuracy that he can have at times. And I know that Sam Darnold can be pretty bad as well. He's a pretty bad quarterback, but he's at least had a year of experience. So that would be the only reason why I give him a few starts. And if I see Kaepernick, y'all kind of doing like good in those first few weeks, I'm gonna wait till I'm at home against a bad opponent and try to get Cap out there. It'll be one of those scenarios.
Well, I mean, in Sam Darnold's case, if you have to go seek out an old quarterback that you kind of kick to the curb and try to kind of hit him with the hey big head in the middle of the season with no knowledge of the offense or nothing, he comes right in and start to try to save the season. That must mean the franchise is in trouble at quarterback. So I'm starting Cap.
Yeah, I think though wasn't with Sam though. Was Sam a little bit hobbled or something during that time?
Yeah, but
so I think that's part of the biggest reason, maybe why.
Yeah, he don't have much longer in Carolina.
We can all agree on that for sure. But yeah, that was a good moment, and that's a very good point. And you got Cam that pretty much came right off being a bounce at a club to the next week starting in the NFL.
That's wild.
Yeah, basically.
That would be wild.
And so yeah, why not for Cap? I mean, damn it, like, why not? So yeah, that's a good question, Jamar. We shall see, guys, what happens with this scenario, but Cap, I think he can contribute to somebody. And you guys took my answer, like he can contribute in packages. You can create some packages for him, certain plays that matches his strengths, and just allow him to come in and be a contributor. And if your quarterback is messing up, if you got a Davis Mills or Sam Darnold, these are all teams that are listed, guys. Houston Texans, Carolina Panthers. I would even say, damn it, Nathan Peterman, whatever team he plays for. What team does Nathan Peterman play for? He should go to that team too.
You don't want to know the answer to that. I know the answer to that. You don't want to know the answer to that.
He plays for the Chicago
Bears, right? Well, in this case, no, he shouldn't come to us. So the first guy you mentioned, though, is another option as well. And so Drew Lock, Seattle did really Drew Lock. Like I
They'll
know
probably
Pete
have it.
Carroll's he's a little, let's say, confident in him, but I don't know, man. Maybe by week 3 he probably won't.
They'll
So
probably have Baker Mayfield by the end of the offseason.
it'll be something, man, because yeah. So we know, we all agree on this podcast that Cap can possibly help somebody. And we all agree that it will be a very bad look, however, like you say, Jamar, that if somebody goes out and sign this man after 5 good years of wasted potential that he could have contributed to somebody football team.
Yep. Prime years at that.
Right. With these sorry backup quarterbacks that's in the NFL today. These guys are terrible. On the other hand, guys, let's get to the NBA playoffs. The Heat Celtics, we are now in the game 7. And so, Jamar, what are your thoughts, bro, from this series? And I need you to give us a final pick. Who wins game 7?
Man, so first and foremost, I guess I want to thank Draymond Green for extending the series here because, apparently the Heat took that to heart.
Yep, he said it live. I watched it live, bro. I'm like, wow, like
he on one, man. But also, I'm watching, First Take and everything else yesterday, and they all.
Stephen A. Smith was doing the same thing. He was saying it since
presumably
Thursday night.
Yep. They all, basically handpicked Boston to come out and play the Warriors in the finals now. That's what all the talk was yesterday. They didn't even give the Heat a chance. But let's be honest, a lot of us did not give the Heat the chance at all last night. I thought it was a wrap. I mean, no Tyler Hero for a third straight game or a second straight game, whatever it was.
Yep.
No Hero, as we know, Jimmy Butler before last night just did not look himself from that knee injury. Kyle Lowry was a goose egg the game before. Strutz couldn't hit a shot in I don't know. It seems like 2 weeks now, but he showed up a little bit last night. What we saw was I can't necessarily say a heart of a champion because they're not champs, but we saw resiliency at its finest. We saw a dog or somebody basically back against the wall and gave it everything they got. Jimmy Butler, my gosh. I mean, I know we talked about Jimmy Butler for the last 2 or 3 weeks on the show, but he mustered through whatever he was going through with the knee and everything else to show up in Boston and drop 47, almost a triple double on top of that, to give you 47 in clutch buckets. Mm-hmm. I mean, we are maybe going to rediscuss if Jimmy Butler could be the best player on a championship team. This is
they win tomorrow. Yeah,
this is legit. This is crazy. I mean, Kyle Lowry gave you 18 and 10. Thank you for showing up. I know you was hobbled too, but he showed us. Strutz gave you 13. Thank you for hitting shots. Victor Oladipo. I mean, that low risk, high reward is starting to pay off for them. That they, gave him a chance, and it looked like he's finally healthy. And man, this is wild. But I would say one thing. My last point before I let y'all go: do not let Boston lose this series. Do not, please. If Boston loses this series, you're not going to hear the end of it because Miami has every excuse set in for them losing this series already. They'll get a pass with all the injuries and stuff. They will get a pass. Maybe Bam might not, but everybody else probably would. A collective on the Heat. Boston has no excuse. Boston, basically gave up a golden opportunity going home for them to go to Miami in Game 7. I mean, I'll say this much. I don't think Miami is going to get blown off the floor like, Dallas did Phoenix a few weeks ago. I don't see that happening. So all in all, that's just pure heart and determination and willpower by the Miami Heat to go into Boston down 3-2 to fight and push for a Game 7 back on your home court tomorrow. That's just shout out to everybody on that one.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, bro. What's up?
Jimmy Butler. Jimmy
Butler, Jimmy Buckets.
And the G stands for get buckets. Man, he played his ass off last night. I was I wasn't shocked, but I was. It was like the shots he was hitting. I was like, the Heat not losing tonight. But granted, Boston made a run and made it a game and came back. I also think I'm not really a conspiracy theorist, but I don't think the NBA wanted this series to end last night either. Boston came back and it looked like they were on their way to win that game, but it's a lot of questionable calls down the stretch, and Miami got, but neither here or there. They came to play. I'll say this: if Draymond don't say they playing Boston, I think Boston come back and win that game last night. But Jimmy Butler, he played lights out. He played like he was Kevin Durant, Michael Jordan, and LeBron James in one. He was hitting turnaround fadeaways with his back to the basket, hand in his face. You would thought he was Kobe Bryant. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, see, this is what we be saying. We get the 45, 50-point game from Jimmy Butler. What is he gonna do in Game 7? He played his ass off, man. Hats off to him. The whole team. PJ Tucker, he had some meaningful points.
Yep.
Oladipo, he made some good plays down the stretch. He got a charge late on Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown missed 2 big free throws down the stretch. I mean, he missed both of them. That was big. And they played resilient, man. They came and they said they weren't losing. Kyle Lowry, he came in, gave him some meaningful minutes. Kyle Lowry seems like he just plays kind of much better on the road in the playoffs. I don't know. He did the same thing in the finals a couple years ago. He played like shit at home, but in Golden State, he played golden. And he's doing the same thing. He played like crap the other day. Mm-hmm. And he gave him meaningful minutes. I mean, I know he's been hurt coming off an injury, but gave him meaningful minutes last night. Those guys, they got it done. They had a couple people foul out, but Kyle Lowry fouled out as well. But they got it done, man. Game 7. I got Boston in Game 7 though, by 6, 7, and 8.
Okay, Jamar, who you got for Game 7?
I'm going Miami.
Okay. Yep. Man, Miami and Boston, we divided here. But I'm gonna break the dividing line. Fellas, for me and you guys, you two were on my message group Wednesday night. For me, Miami didn't necessarily look injured, guys. For me, they looked fatigued. They looked tired. They didn't look like they just didn't have their legs under them. And it just looks like to me last night they caught up on their rest. Jimmy Butler had his legs under him, and you could see the shot just floating. Wednesday night, that thing was floating, and it was just like short. It just was short. It was there, but it was short. And a lot of that has to do with the lift on your legs. As you guys know, you guys are hoopers. And so with me watching this series, I knew that Miami, and I told Dwayne, and Dwayne, he'll be on next Saturday, guys, that Miami still had a chance to win tonight. And the reason being is because they are one team, and we've been saying this all year, y'all. We said Miami could get trounced in the first round, but then we said Miami could get to the NBA Finals. We said that before the playoffs began. And so they are a team that seems to be a team of two faces. When they hit their shots, which we've said before, Miami is hard to beat when they hit their shots because it allows for them to set their defense down on the other end. And so this is why Jimmy Butler is doing what he's doing. And so he can get some high efficient shots. And if his shots are going in, the Heat are dangerous, and they're going to take anybody down to the last few minutes of any game, anybody in this league, because they can go down and set their defense. And so with Jimmy Butler, heart of a champion, we're not really surprised as Bulls fans. We've seen Jimmy Butler have a killer instinct, and we've seen it just grow as his career has went on. We already know as Bulls fans why we drafted him. We drafted him for defensive purposes, 15 points a game, but he developed his game. He turned into an offensive pro. He turned into a defensive pro even more. And so now you got one of the best two-way players in our view as one of the, let's say, probably, if arguably, y'all, he's been the best two-way player in the playoffs thus far. He has not taken off on defense even through his injuries. His shots maybe weren't going in, but he's never taken that off. And so when his shots are going in, it just makes him that much more dangerous. And so, Boston looks like the best team. We said, y'all, and I know Miami lost last night, but we said this series was going to go 7 games. We said that. And so here we are. Here we are with 7 games. We said it would do this, and here it is. As we figured literally prior to the series even beginning, that these two teams were like haymakers. They throw haymakers. You throw your haymaker, I'm going to throw my haymaker. And they've just been throwing haymakers. A heavyweight fight. And Golden State is going to be up for a fight too. They just don't know it yet. I'm going to go with Miami. I'm going to go with Miami at home. Damn. I'm just imagining Boston if they were to lose, just how bad it would be. Like,
that's what I said.
Go ahead, Jamar. Like,
sorry. No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I know Ian said, like, you know, NBA may want the NBA to go 7, maybe so, but it's like you have an opportunity on your home floor. You've been dominating this team like a majority of the time in this series. You have been the better team,
right?
So for you to like not show up, like Boston should have won probably by double digits based on how the series been going. And for you to keep this game close, I mean, if the game is close, it's going to favor the road team. That's just what it is. So they just missed the golden opportunity. It's like Tatum gave you 30, Derek White gave you 22.
Yep, off the bench. Yep.
Like
Jaylen Brown didn't show up last night. He showed up Wednesday. He didn't show up last night.
Yeah, but he still gave you 20 though, I believe.
Yeah, but
more so
he's like that 25.
But it's like the two bigs that have been like giving them buckets. They only had a combined 5 points. Horford had what 2 or 3, and then Grant Williams had 2. It's like
he had a 3 late. That was like his first. Hit basket. I think it was like in the fourth quarter. But yeah, I think that's all he had.
Yeah. So it's like normally those guys give you more. It's like you just missed out. And so yeah, like you basically said, if Boston lose, it's just not gonna be a good look at all whatsoever. Miami has the excuse. Boston does not. That's the thing.
Right. Yeah. I want to say, y'all, that and you've been picking this team. Boston is better when everybody touches the ball. Boston last night, I think they were trying to make Tatum a hero because he was going off. Don't get me wrong, but he was taking a lot of shots, a lot. And Boston is better when they move the ball, like you say, and when Al Horford is when he's hitting his shots, Boston can beat anybody.
Yeah.
When Patrick Williams is hitting his shots, Boston can beat anybody. Robert Williams has been a vital factor in Boston wins. When Robert Williams is scoring the ball, Boston pretty much blow out Miami. So those 3 guys alone, Williams, Horford, and the other Williams, are vitally important for this team's success if they want to win Game 7. Those guys got to show up. Marcus Smart got to show up. He got to put the ball in the hole too. If these 4 guys don't show up, man, and Jaylen Brown don't try to get you that 25, Boston could very well go home, man, to a team that when they all touch the ball and they hit their shots and they get their defense set, they are a tough team to beat. And so matching this series, man, Miami hit their shots, fellas, I think Miami win. But if Miami don't hit their shots, Boston gonna go down and they gonna feast like sharks. Yeah.
I can agree to that.
Yep. So let's see, fellas. Man, what a series. Tomorrow, Game 7. Warriors and Mavs, fellas. Thoughts from this series. What went wrong for the Warriors and what went right for the Warriors, sorry, and what went wrong for the Mavericks. So, Jamar, your thoughts, man. What happened in this series, bro?
I mean, first and foremost, I want to give a shout out to the Dallas Mavericks. You know, they had a wonderful season. I mean, nobody expecting them to get this far, especially after trading Porzingis for Dinwiddie and Bertans. Like they made a heck of a run. They just didn't have enough. That's just what it is. I mean, it's that they don't have enough offensive firepower, consistent offensive firepower. The other thing is, which, you know, I was, you know, listening to a couple of shows and they made a point. I'm thinking like, that is true. Which is, so we all know Luka is spectacular. He's a superstar. But we also know there's levels to being a superstar. And this is basically, we're hair picking, splitting hairs, and this is the top like 0.001% of
top tier.
Yes, we are splitting hairs. So of course Luka has been getting a lot of like comparisons to LeBron for what he's doing at his age and how he plays and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Luka, as we know, he's not in shape. He's not.
Yep. That's the difference.
He doesn't take care of his body, and he also does not give the commitment on defense like the other stars do. I'm not saying that he should be all world on defense, because that's never going to happen.
Just more effort.
Yeah, you just got to do enough. Whatever enough is, that's what he has to do. Steph Curry, we know he's not a two-way player by any means, but he does enough on defense. He gives you effort. If he has to hedge the screen, he'll do so. And I've seen it where he'll wait a couple of seconds till his other defender gets back, and he does enough. Collectively, that's why the Golden State Warriors defense is elite generally for like the last 8 years. They've been elite. So if Luka was to, you know, get in shape, like literally get in shape and like give some more effort on defense, that would, like, you know, these games here wouldn't be going the way that they're going. Like they'd be able to, you know, sustain runs and actually stop runs from the other team and actually probably get more out of himself and the rest of the players. So between him not having enough on offense and him himself, as far as commitment, those are the two things that can be improved on. I think even Jason Kidd alluded to when he first came coach, talking about like basically this is step one for Luka. So the progression for his maturity, all that stuff goes ahead. Well, went right for the Warriors. I mean, hey, Andrew Wiggins, that's one. Andrew Wiggins showed up. Andrew Wiggins, the number one pick in the 2014 NBA draft, who I was a big fan of coming into the league. What he was doing at Kansas, like just all the hype. All I hear is Andrew Wiggins this, Andrew Wiggins that. And like until this year, I mean, you could label him as a bust for that pick, honestly.
Yeah.
But he came into his own. That motor that Jimmy talked about, the lack thereof, I mean, it showed in this series. It looked like you just watched him transform in front of your eyes in this series alone. They attacked Luka. I mean, Luka was guarding him the majority of the time, and he, you know, came through with big buckets left and right. Got a poster that's seen around the world right now. That's going to be one of the posters that people are going to look back on for a number of years to come.
Yep.
If you get that type of production out of Andrew Wiggins, especially in the NBA Finals, I can't see them losing. Jordan Poole, of course, you know, he's one that go right. And also the last thing I'm going to say, besides, you know, Clay doing his thing, Draymond doing his thing, Steph doing his thing, the rookies, man, the rookies they put in, Kuminga and Moody, like I saw Moody hitting big shots. I'm like, so man, like they getting valuable experience and throughout all this. So I guess when their numbers called, they can go about 9-10 deep if they really, really had to or wanted to. So shout out to the Warriors, man. That whole organization is just top notch at this point.
Great organization. Yep. And your thoughts, bro?
Shout out to the Mavericks. I think if the Mavericks played anybody else, they'll probably be in the finals. They play Phoenix, they'll probably be in the finals, believe it or not. I think they just played a better team. Luka, he he'll be one of the face of the NBA superstar. But as Jamar alluded to, is he just got to go through that process, that maturation process. He probably does need to get in a little better shape. They'll probably face a crossroads with Bronson, because he's an unrestricted free agent. So I know Mark Cuban said they have the money to pay him more than anybody else. But maybe you seek out a bigger guard to fit with Luka. For times like this in the playoffs.
Because Tim Hardaway, his problem, he's not healthy. He's always hurt.
Yeah, so maybe they go out and get a bigger guard, for times like this and play deep in the playoffs. That's not to take away from Bronson. I mean, he played exceptional in the playoffs. Like, he definitely earned him some money. Somebody, whether it's Dallas or whoever, somebody's gonna pay him some big money. But I mean, those guys, they had a good season. But I just think they ran up against a better team. The Warriors with all the experience, with finally getting Clay back, Dre and Steph, and those guys, they're back to looking like the old Warriors before KD came. I do have one bone to pick with the NBA though. I think the Magic Johnson Western Conference MVP, I think that's kind of, I don't see the purpose in that. I never even heard of that. I was like, what is this? When they was coming out doing the trophy ceremony, I'm like, that look like the NBA Finals MVP trophy. It look exactly like it. So I'm like, okay, and I don't even really think he deserved to get it that night. He shot terrible.
Yeah, and this is where I'm headed in my argument. I know who you say who deserved it. That's who I'm giving props to this series.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I know he's Steph Curry. He's the star of the team and basically the NBA, but I don't really think he deserved it that night. But I get it. They're trying to give him, more. He's missing a couple of awards he don't have in his career. So
yeah, exactly.
I get it. But Klay Thompson, he played exceptional the other night. I thought they was gonna finish. I thought they was gonna come through with the sweep. But they let me down, man. Let me down. Even though the bench brought them back the other night. What was that? Tuesday or Wednesday? Tuesday night?
Yeah.
Or Wednesday night? Yeah. They brought them back, but Dallas, they played good that night. But Dallas, they played a better team. I see the Warriors winning the championship. I don't see nobody beating the Warriors this year.
Right.
And
yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for me, man.
Yeah, man. You guys were on point, man. The one person I do want to point out, y'all, for this series is Kevin Looney. Kevin Looney, so quietly underrated. You guys see the rebounds, this guy. I mean, literally, it was to the point to where, like, Golden State was just throwing up shots, y'all. And he just rebound. And, if anybody, y'all, if you able to get 5 shots on one possession, somebody might eventually hit the shot. And this is the Warriors of all teams that's able to get 5 shot attempts on a possession, because nobody can out-rebound Kevin Looney, who had 18 rebounds. He's been dominant this playoffs, y'all, on the boards. 22, 21 and 12, 9 and 12, 10 and 18. Very, very good quality minutes, dominating in the post, very efficient with his field goals, y'all. 5 for 8, 3 for 4, 10 of 14, 5 for 5. This is quietly efficient, y'all. And although, let's say Steph Curry played a vital role, I just want to shout out Kevin Looney, man, because his rebounds helped an already great offensive team get a whole bunch of possessions that they really didn't need, but they got him anyway. And so as a result, here we are, man. But shout out to this guy, Kevin Looney. He's been major these playoffs, and it's really good to see him blossom, because I thought he was a terrible basketball player, but, he is turning out to be one of those quiet, efficient guys that, is like a key piece to a championship team.
Yeah, one
You
of those
know?
blue guys.
Yeah, very, very good glue guy. That kind of reminds you like a Luke Longley or like a, somebody that ain't flashy, but that does enough to get the rebound for you or does enough to block a shot. And
Yep.
it goes a long way. Go ahead,
especially
Jamal.
especially with no James Wiseman in the middle. So he's doing, he's doing work. Like you said,
Yeah.
it's just quiet, efficient. I remember one of those games, he had like 21 rebounds. He said he took it personally when they got out rebounded on the glass. So it's just, it's just crazy how like they have all these parts, but they all fit together so like seamlessly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. Then not to mention Gary Payton II is supposed to be back in the finals. So I mean, that's just extra element right there. So it's just fun to see. I really enjoy watching them play basketball. I do.
I do too, man. And shout out to the Warriors, like coaching staff. These guys are so underappreciated as well. Like their development system, we've mentioned it, Shamar, and like they have developed these kids. Like Kevin Looney was developed. Kaminga has been developed. Like Jordan Poole was developed. They didn't go out and get a big name free agents. They kept this thing in house. And they just have they didn't even, a lot of people been arguing, y'all. I don't know how y'all feel about this. In 27, 18, and 19, they didn't even need KD. Some people felt they would have won at least one championship without him.
No, I mean they did win one championship without them.
But yeah, so you're 2015. But we talking about doing that 2017 to 2019 period.
I mean, if any team goes 73-9, I don't think they need another player.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think they need another player.
It was basically plug and play at that point. Like let's just say they didn't have KD. You could probably have Paul George at the time. Same effect, right?
Yeah.
Take away Paul George, maybe Andrew Wiggins at the time. Who knows? I mean, plug and play. I mean, heck, they won a championship with Harrison Barnes, and I feel like Andrew Wiggins better than Harrison Barnes. So it's like, it's just phenomenal. I mean, it all starts with the backcourt. Can't double team. Once you double team, you can't do that. Draymond Green, him being the engineer of the offense with the passing and the playmaking. His playmaking is so underrated. It doesn't get much love, by the way. It's spectacular to see. Especially in transition. Like, man, like this dude is actually good. I know they give him a lot of slack for triple singles, but I mean, this dude is actually good for what they do.
Those matter.
It does. So yeah, man, like it's fun to watch. And then in those two spurts, those past 2 years before this year, when they didn't make the playoffs, all the injuries and stuff. I mean, that was the key moments when they were developing their bench, their young guys. That's why you see Jordan Poole playing the way that he is now. He's gonna get a bag. I mean, they're developing these rookies, these lottery picks in the middle of the playoffs. It's like they good now. They're gonna keep it going later. That's the great thing about it.
Get back.
Mm-hmm. Yep. This is facts, fellas. And so to answer this question, is this NBA Finals the Warriors to lose? Like, so in other words, is it possible for this team to be beat 4 times in a series? This team.
I mean, anything's possible. I mean, we've seen them lose when they went 73-9. So anything is possible. But I think it's the Warriors, yeah. Not unless the Miami Heat prove me wrong. But I think it's the Warriors, yeah, in my opinion.
I mean, honestly, I think Boston will give them a harder chance in the finals than the Warriors. I mean, than the Heat. But
than the Heat, yeah.
Because I feel like the Warriors just match up better against the Heat.
Yeah, I think Boston
let them down. I think
a lot better than the Warriors.
But yeah, it's definitely I'm gonna give the edge to the Warriors, no matter who they play, between experience alone and just continuity. They just do things. It's seamless. It's like a well-oiled machine. It's like watching the 2014 San Antonio Spurs. How that went.
Mm-hmm.
And just I don't know. They just loaded. Boston, like they do have the excellent two-way players, and they switch everything, and they can defend. And they probably gonna make them work for it, but it's still like if it comes down to a 3-point shooting match, I mean, who you gonna take, the young two-way stars, or you gonna take the best shooting backcourt that NBA has ever seen in life? So I mean, yeah, it's definitely the worst to lose. for sure.
Yeah. This team, y'all, we've been saying this probably since the first round of the playoffs, and we just said that they reminded us of the old Warriors. And that's a team that's just very hard to beat in the 48 minutes alone, let alone 4 times in a series. The pace is unmatched. Shout out to Stephen Curry and his chef and whomever keeps this guy in shape, because this man is a problem when it comes to people being able to keep up with him. He's a lot to deal with, y'all. Conditioning wise, you were running around chasing him and Clay all game. Then you got to run around and chase Poole. Then Steph Curry, as you know, Jamar, right? He's low key. He can hit you with the dribble, go for the layup, go for the floater. And that's the killing part about his game, because you're chasing him around so much. Unlike Reggie Miller, Steph Curry is a lot skilled with the handles. He's able to do all those other things. And so that just adds a more serious dynamic of you being super tired and having to keep up with these guys all game in 48 minutes. The Chase Center, always there. There's no question. Greatest shooting backcourt all time, continuity like you mentioned. Great defensive team. When they get their shots, they get down and they set their defense, because if they're hitting threes, then they can go down and set their defense. They're hard to beat. They are extremely hard to beat. Some even argue in 2016 that if Draymond Green didn't get into that technical stuff, that the Warriors would have won that year. A lot of people feel that way. And so with all that, 6 finals in 8 years, this is obvious, y'all. This is the paint on the wall. It is clear as day. This team is very hard to beat in a series. Very hard to beat, just like the Bulls were in the 1990s. And so, shout out to the Warriors. I firmly believe that they could get a fight, but I don't know if that team can outlast the Warriors. It'll be really tough. But go ahead, Jamar.
No, I saw a stat, and I'm trying to remember because I don't want to jack it up, but basically they were saying that I think those three together, their big three, has more championships won than like series lost since like a certain time frame. I can't remember, but it's like a crazy stat.
It's something similar to I seen the same thing.
Like that's wild to me. So yeah, man. It's about as close of a dynasty as you're gonna get since the Bulls. So I mean, enjoy it.
Right. And so Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, more series. It should be out here, y'all. More series ones, and
I saw it on the book, I think yesterday. I don't know where though. I thought I seen it on TNT after they won. I thought.
Let me check the TNT page then. But yeah, that's crazy. And I know you mentioned the screens, like when I'm watching their offense, I think like a lot of times I'd be looking for the away from the ball movement more so than the actual like person that got the ball a lot of times, because the way they like free up the way Draymond screens for Steph and the Klay. I saw one screen. It was just a lackadaisical. They were just coming down court, and then all of a sudden, like Andrew Wiggins did some little like sneaky slip screen, and then Klay Thompson just happened to be wide open for a split second. He knocks down a three. I'm sitting here like this is like marvelous. This is magnificent. It's just like so simple, but yet so deadly. That's their efficient ways, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, they're the three winningest players in NBA playoff history.
Jeez.
But the three, yep.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yep, they say what was true then is still true now. Curry, Green, and Thompson, when all three are healthy, have been nearly impossible to beat with Steve Kerr as their coach. Yep. And so in regards to that specific stat, I know y'all that they're the fourth franchise to reach the NBA Finals 6 times in 8 years. They joined the Lakers, Celtics, and our Bulls.
Yep.
And then they comparing them to other baseball teams and all that stuff. And the Warriors, y'all, by the way, They are 22-4 in the 26 series since the playoff era began in April 2013. So they've only lost 4 series.
And you probably can count the series. They lost to what? Lost to
Right.
Cleveland finals. They lost to Toronto.
They lost to Cleveland, Toronto, maybe San Antonio in the conference finals, right? They lost them in the second round, I think, in 2013. No, it was 2013 to 2014. They lost to San Antonio.
Yeah, they became who they are.
Right.
Yeah.
It was like a maturity thing for them.
Yeah.
And then did they lose to?
Did they lose
They
to the
lose to the
Clippers,
Clippers,
or
Mark
did they beat the
Jackson.
Clippers? I can't remember.
They lost to the Clippers.
Lost to the Clippers
year
with Doc
before
Rivers.
they
That's
won
when
the
Mark Jackson
championship.
got fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they lost to the Clippers the year before they won the
Those are the
championship.
series.
That's crazy.
Those are the series. And so if they win a
That's it.
championship this year, Jamar, then they'll have 4 championships and match with their 4th playoff losses since April 2013.
That's crazy.
They'd be 23-4.
That's crazy.
It's excellence. And so, yeah, man, they are tough. Look, y'all, the article says it. Look, fellas. It says 2 of them, these playoff losses, came before their championship stride. The 2013 San Antonio Spurs in the West semifinals, fellas. 2013, like we say, they were babies. They were growing up. And then in 2014, LA Clippers in the first round.
Yep.
Okay. Those were, those baby losses. Then the third loss, y'all, came, like you mentioned, to the 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers in the finals.
Yep.
And they stated, that required Curry being limited by a sprained knee, Green getting suspended for a pivotal game 5.
Bogut
Injury
hurt.
to key role players, as we remember, Iguodala and Andrew Bogut.
Yep.
And of course, massive performances by the Cavs.
Yep.
And then we know about the 2019 Raptors. Yep.
That's wild.
Yep. It's all wrapped up in a nutshell, fellas. So, yeah.
That's wild.
So I'll say this. So this debate is going. I know my answer to it. So are we putting Steph Curry in the top 10 or the top 5 of all time? Because you gotta look. We seen KD. He left. KD ain't did much since he left. Since he left Golden State. Looks like he needed Golden State more than they really needed him. Look at Kyrie. He hasn't done much since he left Cleveland. Like he needed LeBron more than he needed. You know what I'm saying? The team needed him. So I mean, it looks like Steph. It looks like the Warriors gonna win another one. So I mean, in my opinion, I think we got to start talking about Steph Curry being in this top 5 of all time.
I'm not ready for the top 5 yet. I'll say top 10 to top 15. And I put him in the top 3 of point guards. I would do that. I would put Magic. And that third, it doesn't matter who the third is. But you know what? I would actually say those are my top 2 point guards all time.
No argument here.
I would say Steph and Magic. Now, in regards to the top 10, I would say yes. Top 5, I'm not ready for that one, not yet.
It'd be tough to put him in the top 5 right now, but top 10, if he finished it off this year with championship, finals MVP, 6, I mean, they've been, 6 out of 8 years, and, 2 of those were, injury years. He was injured, the team was injured. I mean, we almost looking at the Chicago Bulls again with the player as they coach from Chicago Bulls.
Exactly. But the one thing I would just say is the finals MVP is a stain on his legacy right now. Although his resume is so impressive, right?
Yeah, I don't.
You really can't even argue that, but he needs one. Go ahead, Jamar.
I would say, is it really a stain though, based on everything that he's done? It just, something that, and they was having this discussion yesterday. It's like this guy gets hate for what reason? We the general consensus is we know he's great. We know he's an all-time player. But sometimes he gets hate just for, I guess him being him.
winning.
Yeah. And it's like they just nitpicking. It's like, is that finals MVP? Like, he don't have one. So the bleep what? Like, this man got everything else. I mean, they win this year. I'm pretty sure he's in line for it. I'm pretty sure because he ain't playing like trash right now. He's actually playing pretty
They'll
solid.
give it to him. They win this year. They just gonna give it to him.
Yeah, probably. And I ain't gonna say he didn't deserve it either if he does get it. So it's like, so to answer your question, I feel like he is right at the door. The Bounce are getting ready to let him right into that top 10 by far. Because I mean, like you said, Kevin Durant sitting here and watching Andrew Wiggins replace him and about to go ahead and get him another championship. And he just sitting in his loft in Brooklyn, just looking like, what the heck? Not even returning their call. That's a discussion for another day with the Brooklyn Nets right now. But it's like he's definitively the greatest shooter we have ever seen. So you're the greatest shooter in NBA history. And I don't think anybody else is going to come close to that, in my opinion. So you got that for him. You got your titles, you got your all-star appearances, you got this stupid Magic Johnson trophy that they just made up this year. But anyway, you got that too.
First ever.
Yeah, first ever. Engraved. Oh, and not to mention he's the only unanimous MVP we have ever seen. Like, we can't forget about that. That holds a lot of weight.
And in regards to that top 10, Jamar, like, bro, he is the one player in NBA history I know that puts so much fear in you as an opponent. Like, Steph Curry scares the crap out of you on the basketball court because you got to deal with him for a whole 48 minutes.
Exactly. I mean, there's a reason why, when they first became who they are, I mean, they called him the babyface assassin. Kobe Bryant said, like, that's the killer on the court. Forget all the smiles and stuff. Kobe Bryant said that's a killer on the court. Mm-hmm. So, like, it's phenomenal to see. It's like, yeah, they win this year. You can't deny that discussion top 10. You cannot not include him at this point, right? Top 5. I mean, that, like Brandon said, that's whew. I feel like more needs to be done. I mean, they have the opportunity to get it done, and they, just run off some more finals appearances, some more trophies, some more accolades. I mean, he can finish. Like, he can finish up there. So let me just ask this since we brought this up. So as we know, LeBron, I mean, he's going down as what, top 2, top 3, whatever you want to call it. He's like solidified in the vast majority of people's eyes, right? Top 3 in that conversation.
It's only 3. It's only 3. If your 3 ain't the 3 who we know it is, we ain't even gotta say who it is.
Right.
I don't even want to have a conversation.
Okay. So I mean, Steph not too far out of a lot of stuff that LeBron has done as far as I guess, trophies and stuff like that. Now, I know Steph's not going to catch him in all-time points and stuff, but Steph makes up for it in other areas. Like, he's blowing the 3-point, numbers out the window and all this other stuff. So I'm just saying, when it's all said and done, I don't think he's going to be too far from him, if not like right there. So I'm going to just throw that out there.
I said this the other day, and this is coming from a LeBron James fan. So I was having a conversation with somebody. I say, after a while, we're going to have to start putting him in that conversation. He is almost like the Tim Duncan of this era.
Compared to Kobe Bryant back then.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that.
He's beat LeBron multiple times. Well, he's beat LeBron for all his rings. I mean, he lost one time. Only unanimous MVP, greatest shooter of all time. And he's not just a shooter. He can get to the basket. He can dribble. He got a handle. I mean, yeah, he's not the best on defense, but he's not terrible. I mean,
he tries. He gives the valiant effort.
Yeah, like earlier, he does enough.
Yeah, he does.
At that block the other day that killed Dallas momentum.
That's wild.
Yep. So I mean, he got 3 rings. You go on a limb and say you get 4 this year. Finals MVP. I mean, why not? I mean, of course, nobody's going to. I mean, with the consistency LeBron has had as far as his health, and he's been playing forever. He got a coach that he was just playing against as a rookie. That's crazy. So, I mean, why not? And this is coming from a LeBron James fan, my favorite player of all time. But why not? Why we can't put let's just say Steph gets 4 and he possibly gets 5. I mean, top 5 in my opinion. I mean, why not?
Yeah, I would say for me, man, I think Steph need probably a couple more to get in the top 5, maybe even 3 more. That's just me.
3?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeesh.
Top 5 is heavyweight, man. It's heavy up there. Very heavy.
He
But
holding it down.
he has a chance with this dynasty. He has a very,
A
very
legit
chance.
Yeah.
Because of, for me, y'all, the fear factor. All those players got something just uniquely unique about them. Jordan, Braun, Kobe, like some very seriously unique about them. And the one thing that's very unique about Curry is the fear he put in you when you are on the court with him, because you know what he can do when he get hot. And so it ain't even when he get hot. The damn man is always hot. He's always cooking. It ain't, such thing as getting hot with Steph Curry. He's always hot. Doesn't matter. Warm-ups, parking lot, at home. Man can shoot threes.
When a top 3 player in the NBA of all time say, when he come off the bus, you better stick him when he come off the bus. That says a lot. That says a lot.
That's true. Dwayne in the comments said, I'm going to be bold and say if the Warriors win this year, Steph will end his career with more rings than LeBron.
I can agree with you, Dwayne. I'm serious.
No,
I think Steph is going to pass LeBron probably
in the next 3
years.
years.
In the coming years or so.
Yeah, they keep this core together. It's very possible. They gave the NBA 2 years.
I'm curious to see what they're going to look like when Wiseman comes back, because that right there is...
That's another one. Yep.
That's the big. That's the one that can actually play big.
Yep. When they slow down the game, and yeah.
So remind me of, y'all remember Sharif Abdul-Rahim?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. They remind me of each other so much.
Wiseman he's either gonna hurt them or he's gonna take them to another level. He can either make them unstoppable or he'll hurt them.
And guess what, y'all? This is all developed with the Warriors. It ain't going out the free agent. This is all development from the bottom up. And that's dope. That's just, man, that's something. Like it is so special. And so, y'all, this morning on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, we are giving the Warriors their flowers, man. We are dazzling of what could be. We've went through stats. This team, y'all, 22-4 since April 2013. Only lost to the Spurs in 2013. The Clippers, y'all remember that first round when Mark Jackson got unfortunately fired when they lost to the Clippers in 7 games. The Cavs in 2016, and then when they were injured, the Toronto Raptors in 2019. Yep. And if they win this year, they'll have just as many championships as they had playoff losses since April of 2013.
And then, so that means the stat that we saw probably Ian was, since Steve Kerr has been the coach, they have more rings than actual series lost at that point.
Yeah, yep.
That's wild.
Crazy. Yep. That's crazy. That is crazy.
It really is, man. So, we are in the midst of a very serious dynasty here, y'all. And our Bulls, I won't say that they are super threatened yet, because if you talk to MJ, he gonna say they ain't got 6 rings yet. He gonna say it just like that. They ain't got 6 rings yet. And they went to the final 6 times in 8 years. We won the final 6 times in 8 years.
Yep. And then
and that was right. Go ahead, Jamal.
No, I was gonna say, if Steve Kerr, defends him, say otherwise, then Michael Jordan's gonna punch him in the mouth again, and we just
like he did in practice. So yeah, man, right now, they are not, and Bulls fans will tell y'all, they are not as good as the Bulls dynasty. If we were to put them on a court together, it'd be a very damn interesting series. It'd be a very interesting and fun series to watch. But from the stats, the Bulls still got the Warriors right now. But time is progressing, and this team, y'all, looking like they got a run that could last well into 2025, 2026, who knows? They look like they got a nice run ahead of them, and they got a lot of young players at their development. And these kids can play. They can play for real. And so, yes, Golden State Warriors, man, some very special to behold. Anything in the comments, Jamar? Anything? Or
Dwayne said, just think Warriors got a core LeBron has himself. That's really it.
Yep. Gabriel Williams. What's up, Gabe? He stayed at 100, which means that he's agreeing with the Warriors and their dynasty. And so, yeah, fellas. I think other than that, man, like we just wanted to talk a little bit of baseball, y'all, but ain't really much.
Fire La Russa.
Y'all know the Sox and Cubs tonight.
Yeah.
Yep. Sox and Cubs tonight, guaranteed rate Southside. So they getting a 2-game series on. And I'm with Jamar, man, Southside. So you know,
we got some more comments on basketball real swift. Dwayne said, let's go back to the Heat game. We talked about it, but he also said we need to talk about the game Jimmy big time buckets had and Swamp Thing hit, aka Marcus dumb but smart, ain't done much since that game one. Gabriel said Warriors have better shooters, everything else 90s Bulls in 6.
Okay. Yep. Gabe, I would go with the Bulls just because I think the Bulls could run with them and defend with them. They could run with them, no problem. The Bulls are well conditioned too as a team, very well conditioned, especially Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Steve Kerr. Those guys are well conditioned as well.
Yeah. I think they're more physical too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And so in regards to the Heat, Dwayne, I told you, man, yesterday, like I felt that this series was not over. And Jimmy Butler, man, like he came through, bro, put up damn near 50 piece. He clearly is want to be one of those players, y'all, where when it comes to eliminating him, he finna let you know this finna be real hard. I'm not going home easy at all. And so it's gonna be interesting, man, because it reminded me in a way in of the 2020 finals. He went hard that elimination game.
Yeah, he did.
In game 7, legs was just gone.
Yeah, he was fatigued. Yeah.
I mean, that was a spectacular performance. What, 40-point triple-double?
Yeah. I remember that game. I remember he was linked over.
That was iconic.
Yeah. He was dual. He
was linked over, y'all.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, that shows you how conditioned LeBron is. Because like he was linked over like finna die literally of fatigue. And you know,
I don't know, it was either that or Too Late of a Night with Rachel Nichols, but that's neither here nor there right now.
Oh, low blow.
I remember that too. That was big. That came out like a year later. Like I'm like what? Like yeah, man. Like that was a big rumor. Rachel Nichols and Jimmy Butler, man. It could have been, man. Like,
the G stands for get buckets.
Right.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. Yep. And on the other hand, fellas, Dwayne Hawkins stated, I think Bulls in 5. Gabriel Williams, like, yep, I'm agreeing with the Bulls win that series. Draymond not gonna be able to deal with Rodman. Man, that'd be interesting to see them two go at it.
I think they'll cancel each other out.
Pretty much, damn that.
In a sense, yeah. Oh, one thing I do want to say about the Heat. Where is Bam? I posted a meme.
He had that one good game. Right?
He did.
Right? He had that one good game.
Game 3. That was it. Because I posted a meme. It showed a picture of Kendrick Perkins.
Man,
and they said this is Bam Adebayo when Robert Williams is in the game guarding. like Dwayne, where is Bam, man? Where is Bam? Bam
carried the
show
hell
up
on.
at game 7.
Yeah, that man has been anemic. He's been out there.
Carry the hell on. My Kendrick Perkins voice.
Big Perk.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. Do y'all think maybe that Robert Williams is kind of canceling Bam out maybe a little bit because of his athleticism? He's
It's-
pretty athletic, Robert Williams. He can jump out
Yeah.
the gym.
He
Yeah.
can, but it's like, bro, like Robert Williams is coming off the bench and bam, you an all-star. Like, bro, do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gotta take that. You gotta take that next step. This is it.
This was even amongst Brian Windhurst. I was watching NBA Today yesterday, y'all, and Brian Windhurst asked the same question as you, Jamar. Where the hell is Bam Adebayo? This is an all-star center. You would expect him to show up, but he just, he hasn't been there. And that's a good question. If he has a big game tomorrow, guys, do Miami win this series?
Yeah. Yeah.
He have a big game tomorrow. They'll definitely win. And I'm not even picking them to win, but if he have a big game tomorrow, they'll win.
Yeah.
Because that way,
yeah, go ahead.
that way Jimmy Butler won't have to, he won't have to always 37 and score a 50 point. He can score 25. You can get 10, 15 from that'll be a stretch, but 10 to 15 from PJ Tucker, guys like that.
Right. Yeah, you get those guys contributing. Yeah, Miami's very tough to beat. Very tough to beat to get their defense set. And so, yeah, man. Well, let's see. Gabriel Williams, Pimp, Noah Harper defensively. Dwayne Hawkins, Bam has moments, but we need consistency from him. Totally agree. And he wants a max contract. Yeah. If he wants that max, he got to play like a Dwayne. And then Dwayne stated he's going to make a very good point. And so we're just going to wait on what Dwayne has to say. But when it comes down to it, man, like the Celtics, they lose that game in, it's gonna be a bad look. It's gonna be a real bad. It's gonna be a lot of what ifs. And you know who most I'm gonna feel bad for? I'm gonna feel bad for two guys. I'm gonna feel bad mainly for Marcus Smart and Al Horford for putting in all this playoff work over their careers and still not being able to get to the NBA Finals. True. Like just at least once. You feel me? Like at least once get there. They've been spectacular over their careers in the playoffs. And if they can't get there, that would be a very, very bad look. And it'll really suck for Al Horford, man, because he's been, as you know, and he's been so consistent over his whole career. Show up every playoffs.
Yep. Show
up every game. Ultimate professional. He deserves a chance at a championship. If anybody, it is Al Horford who deserves at least a shot at a championship. And so if he don't get it done, it's gonna be it's gonna just be sad. It's gonna be like, damn, like he deserves that. And so let's read Dwayne Hawkins' comment. So Jamar, you're saying that I was talking about the free throw discrepancy. You see, last night they only shot 3 more free throws than us. So if the game was called more fairly in those 2 other games, Boston games, Miami could have probably put them away. And so the free throw discrepancy, yes, it has been. In a way, it's been like a little bit of home cooking. Definitely. But last night, the free throws were close. They were very similar. And so, yeah. But as I stated to you, Dwayne, as well, brother, like when the Heat hit their shots, they're tough to beat because their defense gets set on the other end. And so the Heat were hitting their shots, man. Jimmy Butler were hitting his high percentage shots. He never takes a dumb shot, Jimmy Butler, ever. And that's what I love about him. He takes a very, very good high percentage shots and he gets to his spots.
Yeah.
Then he shoot. But he don't just throw up stuff. And that allows for Miami to get their defense set and do whatever else they need to do to be who they need to be. And so when Haslam gonna retire from heating, he have been there forever and never play. Must be bored. Yeah,
He's basically
he's
a
more
player's coach.
right.
Keep the
He's more
locker
like
room in check.
he's more like a player's coach. He's
Yeah.
definitely more like a player's coach. Gabriel is going with the Heat. And in 2 home games, Boston shot 40 more free throws than Miami's 40. Okay. Yeah. It's definitely a free throw discrepancy, but we'll see how it go, man. Come game 7. If Miami get, some home cooking with their free throws, maybe they win. But also they hit them shots, Dwayne, they'll win too. So yes, sir. All right, fellas. I think we are about to close out the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast this morning. But Ian, any final thoughts or shout outs, bros, we head into the weekend?
No, not really. Thought I had nothing from the NFL. It was something on my brain, but I lost it. No, not really.
Okay. All right. One thing I want to say, fellas, is don't forget to hit that like button or subscribe. We truly appreciate you guys rocking with us on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. And so if you are on, man, hit that like button. We appreciate it. On the other hand, Sox and Cubs tonight. And so, yeah, Chris and all the wonderful Cubs fans, hey, man, it's an opportunity for bragging rights tonight. And so they will play. And on the other hand, we got a big game 7 tomorrow with the Heat and Celtics. Ian is rolling with Boston. Me and Jamar got Miami. We will see what happens with this series because it has been exactly what we expected it to be. Haymaker to haymaker. And now it's down to the final punch. Who's going to throw that final knockout punch? We will see tomorrow. And so with that being said, everyone, thank you all for chopping it up with us, giving us your time. Don't forget to hit that like button or subscribe. We truly appreciate you all rocking with us. We appreciate the support. And may each of you have a great and blessed weekend. Peace.